Hello. Hello. My name is Ashley. I'm with the University Honors Program, and we are excited that you are here with us today. We are going to get started in about 5 minutes, so we'll give some people a couple extra minutes to get in here and get settled, but we're excited that you're here, and sit tight, and we will get started in just a few minutes. Hello again. It looks like a couple more people have joined us, so I just wanted to pop back in to say welcome and to let you know that we will get started in about 3 minutes. So thank you for your patience. All right, we've had a couple more people join, so I just wanted to quickly say hello again. My name is Ashley. I am one of your presenters today, and we will go ahead and get started in about 2 minutes. So thank you for joining us, and we will get started in just a couple minutes. Okay, good afternoon. Thank you all for joining us. Welcome to UC and welcome to the University Honors Program. My name is Ashley Weber, and I will be joined by 2 students today who you will meet in just a few minutes. We are going over today a quick overview of the University Honors Program, and then the main point will be for you to hear from 2 students today and hear about their honors experiences and how they have navigated University Honors in conjunction with everything else that they do at UC. Before we really jump in, a couple kind of housekeeping tech type pieces. This event is being recorded, and the link to this event will be added to the website later this week so that you can view it again, or that we can have other students view it who were not able to join us today. We cannot see or hear you, unfortunately, so please utilize the Q&A button if you have any questions. We are looking through that throughout the entire session, and we will be answering those throughout the session. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to write them in that Q&A box, and we will make sure to get to them. Outside of that, as I mentioned, my name is Ashley Weber. I'm the Associate Director with the University Honors Program. I also advise students out of the College of Education, Criminal Justice, and Human Services, as well as mechanical engineering students and students in the freshman engineering program. I am one of a team of 5 advisors, so if you do not fall into one of those buckets, do not worry. You have an amazing advisor as well who will be working with you throughout your time within the University Honors Program. As we get started, hopefully you have had the opportunity to go to our website and actually view the video that gives you an overview of the honors program. So this session is focused on hearing from specific students how they have made honors fit within their UC story. If you are interested in kind of the nuts and bolts of honors, so what are the requirements, how do I graduate from honors, what is this thing called Gateway my college advisor is telling me to take, all of that is in that pre-recorded video that is on our website. So if you haven't looked at that, please make sure you go ahead and do that shortly so that you understand a little bit more some of the terms that we'll use today. However, just to give a quick overview so that we're all starting at roughly the same point, I did want to point out a couple of the high points of our program. So our vision is to develop students into global citizen scholars who lead innovative efforts towards solving the world's complex problems. How we do that is through experiential learning. And I'm sure a lot of you, if not all of you, have had some experience with experiential learning in high school. And this is an opportunity for you to continue that experiential learning at your time at UC. Our 2 students today, Ina and Veronica, will talk through their experiential learning projects and how they've turned those into honors experiences as they are working towards becoming global citizen scholars themselves. Just to give you some ideas of what those experiential learning projects could be, they really run the gamut from anything from being a student leader of a community organization or a student organization, conducting research, traveling domestically or internationally, learning a new instrument or a new creative endeavor, building your own website, building your own guitar. The list of potential opportunities really go on, and I hope that you'll see when talking to our students here in just a few minutes that really the options are limitless, and it's up to you to decide what you want to explore and how you want to do that through the University Honors Program. As an incoming first-year student, you'll have the opportunity to learn a lot more about honors experiences in the University Honors Program as a whole through the Gateway to University Honors class. That is a 1 credit hour class that you will take this fall. If you've already registered for classes, you should have registered for that as you're registering for all of your other fall semester courses. If you have not yet registered for that class, know that you'll have an opportunity to register for it as you register for your other classes this fall. That is the only required course that you will take. And as I said, it gives you the opportunity to learn more about honors, more about experiential learning, and more about yourself so that you can make the most of your time, not only within honors, but at UC as a whole. And we'll have a couple reminders at the end of this presentation so that you know what you should take away from this through the rest of the summer and then early fall semester. But let's go ahead and dive in. So we are going to start with one of our students, Veronica. She is a third-year medical sciences student, and she is going to talk about her path through the University Honors Program. Veronica?
Hi. You've been doing well. So my name is Veronica, and like Ashley said, I'm entering my third year in medical sciences. And I found honors to have been a great resource and a positive influence on my experience at UC. So it's great to be here and great to have you. Welcome to the honors program. I've completed 3 honors experiences so far, and I have another one in progress. The first one I did was a self-designed experience doing research in the asthma lab at Cincinnati Children's Hospital. I was there full-time over the summer after my first year, and it actually counted for 2 experiences because of the amount of time, and I'll go more into detail about this experience later. The second experience I did was an honors seminar that UC offered this past spring. It was called Neurons to Picasso, and I was super excited when I saw this class being offered because I've always been interested in the intersections between neuroscience and art. And these unique courses that UC Honors offers is one of the parts of the program that I love, especially because these are smaller classes, they cover interesting topics, and you really get to have open discussion with other students and the professors. So for this class, we talked about art history, art philosophy, the mysteries of the brain, and how and why humans evolved with creativity. The latest experience that I'm currently doing is a self-design experience about integrating mindfulness and meditation into daily life. There are often misconceptions about what meditation or mindfulness is, and I also made assumptions about it until I took a class about the science and practice of mindfulness. So this opened up my perspective a lot. I think it's important because mental health has thankfully become an increasingly prevalent topic, and mindfulness has a lot of potential for use in healthcare. It's not just sitting in silence repeating a mantra to yourself. It's actually often used in different areas of life, like sports, for example. Athletes are often taught to use guided imagery to help them focus before a game or achieve their goal. And so I decided to try different mindfulness exercises over this summer to see personally how it would affect my life. Going back to my first experience that I wanted to focus on, so I started clinical research at the hospital, which is actually pretty close to campus, about a 10-minute walk from the dorm that I stayed in. I became a part of the MPATCH team, which stands for Mechanisms of Progression of Atopic Dermatitis to Asthma in Children. That's a long name, but essentially what we study is how asthma, allergies, and eczema, which is a skin condition where you get itchy rashes, how those develop or change as a child grows older. In the lab, I got to learn how to prepare the supplies we need for clinic visits and how to do sample processing. In the office, I learned about how much goes on behind the scenes into organizing all the information we get from clinic visits. It involves a lot of data entry and phone calls to recruit participants for the study and schedule visits. In the clinic, I learned how study visits are run, giving questionnaires to parents, asking about their child's health, and taking care of sample collection like saliva. And as I mentioned earlier, this was a self-design experience. I know Honors has pre-approved experiences like the SURF program and WISE program for research, but this is something I found independently of Honors, but the self-designed aspect still allowed me to make the most of this experience. This made me take a step further outside of the lab. So while I did learn a lot of cool things working there, I also had to think about how this research could affect the community, those around me. And also as a self-designed project, you have to set goals for yourself and maintain some form of reflection throughout the process. So I kept a journal to reflect on how I've grown and how I developed different skills over time. And most importantly, reflection is a critical component that honors emphasizes so that you can grow the most that you can and learn the most that you can, and make the most of pursuing your passion. And I think it's great that honors encourages that. One of my favorite quotes that you can see there is, "A mind that is stretched by a new experience can never go back to its old dimensions." I like this because it's true in both the literal and figurative sense. Scientifically, our brain never stays the same. Our neurons are constantly forming new connections as we learn new information. And figuratively, we ourselves are constantly evolving from our experiences, and we never stay the same either. The UC Honors Program is here to support you guys in making the most out of your education and in pursuing your passions, and it's great to welcome you guys into the program.
Wonderful. Thank you, Veronica. We got a question from Connor that asked if you felt like joining the honors program greatly increased your workload. Do you think you could address that?
The honors program hasn't increased my workload. It's not about, at least from my experience, it's not about adding more classes or more work to do. It's more about enhancing what you're already doing. So these honors experiences that we have to do, like I would have looked for research to do regardless, but making it into an honors experience allowed me to reflect more and get more out of my experience. And the class that I took, it's not necessarily more work than another class would be. It's just more focused on discussion and reflection than some other classes might be.
Awesome, thank you. We are going to turn it over now to Ina so that she can introduce herself. And then Ina, at some point, if you want to also address Connor's question, that would be great. You're good.
So yeah, my name is Ina Rizma. I'm a third-year communication major and have a minor in marketing. And I just added that certificate in student leadership. So I've done a couple experiences. I've done research with UHP Discover. I've been a UHP leader, which was really fun. I got to help mentor and talk to a group of like 30 incoming freshmen like you guys. And I went on a study tour to Greece and Egypt, which is my most recent one. And that is the one I'm going to kind of talk about today. So I did not actually plan on going on that trip till the very last minute. I got an email letting me know that there was two open slots for the study tour, and I quickly took that advantage of that. I was like, yes, please, I definitely want to do that. When I saw there were still 2 spots left, so I filled out the application and worked with Neil, who's kind of in charge of all of that. And the class portion of the experience was led by 2 different faculty. So one was a classics professor, Dr. Kathleen Lynch, and then another was a professor in the business college, Dr. Constantine Polychronio, and they kind of blended the class. So one of them taught one day and one of them taught the other day. So it was like a unique way to teach a class really, and we were from all different majors, so I think that made it really interesting too. And the class was super informative and really exciting, but the most exciting part was definitely getting to travel to those places after you studied about them. So in Greece and Egypt, we saw historical monuments together, ate cultural food together, and even met college students at our partner university. So that was wonderful. Being able to stand like on top of Athens after we had learned all about Greek architecture was such a surreal moment, and getting to like touch ancient pottery after only seeing like pictures of it in our reading really made history a visceral and a tangible experience. And we spent most of our days in Athens together as a group. So we would visit art museums, archaeological sites, but then in the evenings we were free to roam the streets by ourselves. So I went out with 4 to 5 of my classmates. We'd buy souvlaki on the street corner and then go through the local shops for souvenirs. And everything was pretty much within walking distance, and we used the Parthenon as a landmark since you could see it from pretty much anywhere in the city. And you could use that to figure out what direction you're in and how to get back to the hotel every night. And so navigating a foreign city together and making memories while, talking to my classmates really solidified those friendships in a way that I don't think I could have gotten in class at all. No, in-class activity could have gotten that. I just get to know everyone's personality when you travel with them. Another really fun thing that happened on the trip, we were able to represent UC to the confidential U.S. embassy visit. I'm not getting that. In Greece, and we were also able to represent UC to the future University of Egypt. So this was our first time sending students over there. So that was definitely an honor that we took super seriously, and they were lovely hosts to us. It was great meeting college students who are also our age. I think that's what made it most interesting to me too, is that having that cultural exchange was wonderful, because we were able to talk about the same struggles and issues like studying for tests or what we're doing this weekend. And then we found common ground in our passion. So we talked about politics and social causes and what we wanted to be advocates for. And it made me realize that we all just kind of wanted the same thing. But at the same time, the world is so much bigger than myself. And it really gave me a sense of belonging and connection within honors and within UC. And I'm really proud to be part of both of those. And it was funny, they were asking us, do you really think we still rode around on camels? And we were like, no, we didn't think that. But we definitely did ride camels. That was really fun. It was definitely a lot bumpier than I thought it was going to be. But I can definitely say I rode a camel when I was next to the pyramids of Egypt now. So that is a picture that exists. And then we told them about Skyline and our Cincinnati traditions, and they told us what kind of food they enjoyed and what kind of places they went to go to study or hang out, and they do, have Starbucks there as well. So we were able to catch some coffee together. That was fun. Really, the students there who hosted us were so kind, and they were always ensuring that we were comfortable and safe. I never felt unsafe at all, even in Egypt, which isn't always the safest place, but they accommodated us so well, showed us around campus and their favorite places to hang out at the mall. They even took us to the market and helped us bargain for souvenirs, and of course they're trying to charge more for us since we are tourists, but they took care of that completely for us. Bargaining is just so out of my comfort zone, and we're not really used to that here in American culture, but that's something it's just a part of their life, and so they kind of taught us how to haggle and how to never pay full price for what we looked for in the market. But the food there was also really, really incredible. We had a buffet dinner one night on the Nile River, and we had another buffet dinner overlooking the Great Pyramids in the background. So that was pretty spectacular. I still can't believe that happened. And on the last day of the trip, saying goodbye to everyone and saying thank you so much for having us, I realized that these 10 days had been some of the most transformative 10 days of my life. I had really grown as a person, and I learned more about myself. I learned more about the people on the trip with me. And in my career, I'm a communication major. I believe this experience really equipped me to be a better communicator. I had conversations across those cultural barriers, and I spent a lot of time with that same core people in my class. And those memories I know could just never be replicated again, because I'll never be with the exact same group of people. I'll never be the exact same time in our lives as young, excited college students. So that's definitely something I value in honors, is that it allows you to have all those experiences, and this is really the best time to travel and to do things like that. I know with COVID, it might look a little different in the future, but any opportunity you can get in the future, I do want to encourage you to do. I tried to soak everything in. I took mental snapshots of everything. I took a lot of actual photographs as well. Everyone on the trip jokingly said I should have been, named the unofficial photographer, since I took pictures of everyone and everything. The phone eats first, as I always say. I always take pictures of my food before I eat it. I mean, it's a 3-course meal in Athens. Of course I'm going to take a picture. And so I'm just really grateful to be able to say that I now have friends in Egypt that I hope to see again someday, and that wouldn't have happened without honors, like definitely would not have happened without honors. And we talk a lot about reflection in honors, and I think it can seem really boring and mundane if you say like, oh, I have another paper to write for honors. But really, it can be so much more than that. I think the semester before I left for Greece and Egypt was probably the hardest semester of my college career. I was just really busy with classes and I overcommitted myself in involvement. So I really didn't have time for self-care or mental health, much less reflection. So kind of thinking about like Veronica said earlier, like I'm really glad we're talking about mental health more, and that's something that we can have a conversation about in college. But I definitely was at a low point in college right before I went, which is not to discourage you. I'm just saying that, like, to be completely honest, we all have our low points, and we all for sure need to focus on our mental health. Even among being like high achieving students, we can still be all that, but we also need to take care of ourselves. So really, this trip was kind of a pivotal point for me. After that whole semester of being so burnt out and so just stressed about everything and not having time to reflect, it really gave me the opportunity to reflect and to experience all these things that weren't, pulling all-nighters or writing papers at the last minute or anything like that. So definitely don't overcommit yourself and take time to reflect for sure. Traveling really opened my eyes to how much bigger the world is outside of myself and my own issues. It allowed me to step out of my own shoes and put myself into someone else's. And I think as a result, I've gained so much more insight into how to be a better friend, a better communicator, and a better global system scholar. So I think that's all I have for me. Wait, I don't think we can hear you.
Yep. All right. So thank you to Veronica and Ina. And I would like to pause for just a minute to see if anyone has any questions. If you do, again, you can put them in the Q&A box. So I will pause for a minute to give you a second to think through that. Okay. If you think of anything, please go ahead and add it to the Q&A box. But as we go ahead and begin to wrap up, just a couple of quick reminders. As you are scheduling classes, or if you've already scheduled classes, please make sure that you have enrolled in University Honors or Gateway to University Honors, which is HNRS 1010. That is, again, the only required course that you need to take, and it is a 1 credit hour course that you will take this fall. There are online synchronous and online asynchronous options. So asynchronous option means that you will still log into your computer at a specific day and time once a week. And then an asynchronous option means that you will self-pace and have a series of modules that you will complete every week as you are learning that material. In addition to that, if you have room in your schedule, I encourage you to think about an honors seminar. Both Veronica and Ina mentioned seminars that they have taken. 3 of the about 10 seminars that we have offered this fall are listed here. The first one is the Arab American Experience. We also have one on the opioid epidemic and the impact of that epidemic on children specifically. And then the final one is a Save Our Schools class, which is all about public education as well as charter and private education and what some of the issues are that are facing American public institutions at this point. We also, as I mentioned, have several other honors seminars. If you visit our website, www.uc.edu/honors, you can then from there navigate to the honors seminar page and see what else is offered this fall. The bulk of our classes are going to be online. We have some synchronous and some asynchronous options. We also have a couple hybrid and full in-person classes. So depending on what your schedule looks like for this fall, if you have room in your schedule, we have an honors seminar that could potentially be interesting to you that you can add just like you added any other class via Catalyst. Please check your email. Please continue to check your email. You just received a notification earlier this week around the first year experience that we will be having in August for our incoming first year students. One of the pieces to that experience is that we will have panels that you will be able to watch on a series of topics. And so a questionnaire just went out to your UC email address asking you if you have any questions about those specific topics. So if you haven't checked your UC email address recently, please make sure you do that. And then please continue to check that UC email because in August, you will receive more information around the small group that you will be added to. We have some upper class students who are really excited to get to know you via Microsoft Teams this summer and help you as you transition to UC and the University Honors Program throughout the summer and through the fall semester. So I hope that you'll take part in that and you can check your email in early August for more information on that specific program. From there, that concludes what we had scheduled for today. So if you have any questions, please feel free to add them to the Q&A part of this live event. We will hang out for a few more minutes to see if anybody has some questions. If not, I wish you the best rest of the summer. I hope that you can relax and recharge before you start your college career. And we are really thrilled that you decided to join us at UC and that you're going to be part of the University Honors Program. So please enjoy these last few weeks before fall semester begins. Yeah, somebody asked if I could repeat the website again to find out more about honors seminars and everything else related to honors. It is www.uc.edu, and I'm actually going to put that in the chat window. So it's www.uc.edu/honors. And then from there, if you hover over the current students tab, you will see a page called Honors Experiences. And then under Honors Experiences, there is a tab button that you can press to see the fall honors seminars. We also have our spring honors seminars already listed. Days and times have not been listed yet, but you can at least see the topics. So if there is something interesting for you, you can begin to tentatively plan that into your schedule for spring, which is weird to talk about in July, but you will find that you constantly are thinking about the next semester's classes as soon as your first semester begins. All right, I will go ahead and formally end the event, but again, we look forward to seeing you this fall and thank you for hanging out with us today. Have a great rest of your summer.